I'm Kakiika, and I'm glad to be here with my colleague
William Galiwango, economics teacher and mid-level manager at Vienna College Namibia.
And we've decided to have this discussion because the issues are moving around so much that many people have appreciated that I've touched many youths into their development agenda, especially the entrepreneurial arrangement. Unless the bulk of me has been stated, all information about me has been stated. But this is my colleague, but my student and the son, I could say, who has worked with me from the start, from leaving uni. And you can say what your professional life is and what your other entrepreneurial life is like.
Well, on a daily, I am a teacher of economics at Vienna College Namibia. But like you have always guided us, that it is very important to supplement your earnings with other sources of income in a way of diversifying the financial portfolio. So looking at where we are as a country, I noticed that something that I could do to supplement the sources is to go into farming, and particularly into poultry. Reason being, apart from being passionate, this is a food product, and knowing that it's a basic necessity, and when you look at the food line in the country, many people will at least buy a Rolex. A Rolex not to mean a luxury watch, but a food item that is usually bought on the street. There is no town in Uganda where you don't find a Rolex. And one of the ingredients are the eggs. And so I'm into egg production. And it has really helped. I would have ventured into other aspects that the trends are considering to be more rewarding. But when you look at an economy that is over 75% primary sector, you need to know how you can have a value-adding economic activity, not only for the selfish gains, but that is going to really help other people in our society.
But also, William, you started with goats.
Yes.
Where have you skipped it?
Goats, when you look at our economy, how much is a kilogram of goat's meat and how many Ugandans can afford goat's meat? It is a high end, but when you look at the gestation period of raising a goat and the returns you get from a goat, leave alone what is being, pushed lately that you can have a goat of 3 million. How many butchers in the country can slaughter a goat of 3 million?
Now, I gave you the Bisagaze. I remember that time.
Yes.
And you also had the maize bran and the rest.
Yes.
Yeah. You ventured into it. But eventually, what really knocked you off with that goats project?
The people who come to buy goats, the market prices for goats are very low. It is it's highly unlikely that you will sell a goat that is going to the butcher for goat's meat at above 150,000.
That's a small one. But what if it is a big, yours could have been small. But I remember you bought some hybrid goats from someone in Mbarara.
The maintenance cost of a hybrid goat and the layman in the country, there is a complete mismatch.
So in other words, you are saying that the market usually speaks.
The market speaks.
Well, regardless of how much someone using any means tells you that this goat is 700,000. But, unless when it is going to move from one trader to another, or from one farm to another. But if it is to reach the market,
the price is...
I think the market speaks.
The market speaks.
The market price speaks.
Because all of us are not going to be breeders. There is money at breeding level. That I have a boer 75-80% from South Africa selling it to another farmer is okay. But you know, the multiplier effect means you must have a product that goes to the market. And when you reach the market, there is another farmer from Nakasongola who has his 2 goats and is willing to part with them at 100,000. You who has yours that is going for 1.5, where are you going to sell it? And who is going to buy it? And when you look at the numbers, they have the numbers. They can freely let their goats go into the wild and later come back in the evening.
So what happened? Did you leave the goats with Muzei?
Muzei has the goats on small scale. I decided to diversify into another arrangement, and that's what.
Now, you are an educated person, and in particular, you are teaching Cambridge economics,
True.
which is applied. And I think you've worked with me substantially for a number of years,
Great.
over 10. And when I was hanging up my gloves, what did I do of teaching?
You got all your academic material and told me, I have handed over to you, go and make your mark.
Which you have done. Thank you very much. Now, let's just look at how you teach the Cambridge economics and how they assess it. And what bearing does it have in the business decisions that you are making? And probably even what your mentor, the way how he makes his business decisions. I'm just going to pick up, you know the years better than me. Now, which year must this be? This is February, March 2024.
Yes.
2024. And it has to do with macroeconomic indicators for Japan and the US between 2020 and 2025. And it is mostly talking about the government debt. Government debt of the US and government debt of Japan. And the government debt of the US being as high as 254% as a percentage of the GDP in 2020. In 2025, the US debt as a percentage of the GDP is 251.3. And this source is from the IMF.
International Monetary Fund.
Was this an examination to be done by your students?
Yes, that is an examination.
Do people realize the value that is there when you study and teach this subject with international standards? This is a Cambridge Economics A level exam. And they're giving you the US debt. As a percentage of the GDP, it is, by 2025, it is 251.3%. The Japanese one is 132.5. Now, people are debating this issue. I saw one gentleman discussing that the Ugandan debt ratio as a percentage of the GDP is 52.3. We are so well off. US, it is this. Tanzania, Kenya, it is this. What is your take of when people are encouraged, instead of investing into many other productive areas, they should lend their money to the government by buying the government debt and citing examples of, they say, the US debt? What is your take?
You see, if US issues treasury bonds to attract as much, investors into that arrangement, the US debt is in dollars.
Yes.
Meaning, in case of any spillover effects, they can mop it out by printing more dollars. But in Uganda, our debt is quoted in dollars, which we cannot print because our central bank has only the mandate over the shilling. And should we make a mistake of printing the shillings to buy the dollar and pay off the debts that are quoted in the foreign currency, that will create inflation, which will be very difficult to mop. But even leaving alone that, if the US issues a treasury bond and I buy it, that is capital flight. I would have taken money out of the circular flow of income of Uganda. That means I am foregoing potential investment to create a multiplier effect at home, and I'm contributing to the growth of the US economy, which becomes a little difficult because we are grappling with high unemployment. How are you going to solve unemployment if you are taking out money that would have created?
You've talked about it. I think the unemployment rates are here.
Yes.
That where the US debt is 251, then unemployment rate is 3.1%. Yes? And the one for Japan is 1.7% unemployment rate. When the unemployment rate in Uganda is well above 70%.
True.
So even if our debt ratio is at 52 point something percent, but our unemployment is 57. But is the US seriously concerned about this huge debt, government debt?
Not really.
They are. And in return, that is why, at least for the current president, he's concerned about it. When he says, I want to make America great again, he doesn't want to see that their country has one of the greatest debt. Their government has one of the greatest debt. And owed to rival countries like China, Japan, they hold the greatest American debt. It means they can liquidate them. And of recent, when the US issues out bonds, China boycotted them. They had to print more dollars, and that's why inflation is running hell in the US. Yeah, and in return to my thinking, as Mohammed, is that this is why they are creeping in this cryptocurrency with the intention of trying to sell off the US debt from its huge 251% percentage of the debt of the GDP by creeping it into the other countries, by enticing especially many young entrepreneurs and other institutionalized investors, by selling their debt to other countries. Which countries buy their digital currencies, the crypto and Ethereum and all the others? While we are buying them, we are getting hold, we forego our consumption at home, we sell our assets at home to buy a digital currency. So when you buy the digital currency in American dollars, where does that money go?
It goes to the
Aren't these guys smart that they want to write off the US debt?
Yeah, in the long run.
In the long run, by pulling out money from other countries, taking it to them. And do you know eventually what they do? After you have accumulated your millions and billions onto your phone, virtual wallet, yes, what will they do? They are going to wipe it out. Yes, there will be a crash. And whom will you ask to give you back your money? When you sold your father's land and the building to buy the cryptocurrency, you would have helped the US to
mop out its debt.
To mop up its debt. Yet, for your countries, now this is one paper. We can look up at another. This one is global coffee beans prices reach near high. This is 20 what?
This is 2020.
October 2024. This is the one for last year.
Yes.
The one that was done at the Cambridge. Global coffee beans prices reach a new high. That one I can smile. Can you see the level of fluctuation? They are showing to us the coffee prices, global coffee prices from 2002.
And that global information had a number of policy changes in the country. You remember the coffee bill? Do you remember?
Do these people who take such very vital decisions in some of our countries, do they really know this? This is a Cambridge paper. Yes? Answer all questions. Question number 1, section A. Coffee is big business, especially in the US. The global market was worth nearly 110 billion in 2020. But who are the coffee growers? Is it the US?
No.
It is our countries.
Then someone tells you invest in cryptocurrency. And they are telling you that the greatest consumers of coffee are the other side. And then people are encouraging people to invest in.
But the implication of when you see this sharp rise and sharp fall of the coffee prices annually, what does that tell you? William, you've also ever planted the coffee. How many acres?
3 acres.
3 acres.
Yes.
Now, you as an economics teacher, applied economics teacher, when you look at these fluctuating coffee prices and sometimes nose diving into the latter, what impression do you get as you are planting that coffee?
Volatility. Volatility means that you can never have an accurate projection of what the return on investment is going to be.
Do you know that at some point I earned a bad reputation by telling people that my trust in coffee is
going down?
Do you know where I based it from?
No.
Because I read. You can tell the entire public, since I have the proper statistical
global outlook.
Coffee is produced grown in Uganda, produced in Uganda, exported from Uganda, but we don't determine the prices. You look at the prices. Now, from a rocket high in 2020 to 2023, where does it head? It is going to nosedive. But I see many people planting a lot of coffee. Am I in any way discouraging them from planting it?
Not really.
Not really. But they should know that coffee is a national crop. It earns the country foreign exchange. But in terms of your personal wallet, your pocket, coffee, get ready for your children to be in school or out of school, depending on the prices that have been offered on the world market and the trader. Is this my concoction, or it's the truth about global coffee?
Those are global statistics.
These are global statistics. And where do we get it from? Do you teach these things to our students in the A levels?
Yes, we get the New York Times, we get the Economist,
this magazine,
that journal, and so many other sources. You must have the statistical charts that are reflecting global market.
And many people have been wondering. You know, I usually speak in my vernacular. Many people have been wondering, this man, where does he get Kakiika ya vawa? Do they know that I'm basing my practical approach from an academic approach and from an applied approach? Didn't I read the things? Don't I know that anybody is planting a coffee tree today because the prices are here and it has a gestation period of 3 or 4 years, we'll find it here.
Like you see how coffee prices have been high in the last 1 year. They are now going down because Brazil had a serious climate change during that time, and you know Brazil is a major determinant of coffee prices.
I know.
But now they have recovered.
I know.
They had good weather, and the prices of coffee are.
I know. But is there anything that I've ever said that is not based on the authoritative position? You study economics and you teach it for over 30 years in an applied and in a sensible. Is this how we assess A-level economics or economics in our country?
No.
If ever Uganda examinations could ever assess students like this, don't you think we'd have different products? Would have different entrepreneurs?
Definitely.
Would have a different outlook about investment? Because is there an examination in Uganda that will show the coffee price fluctuations globally like that, and then you follow it with so many questions around it? Wouldn't it make a huge difference?
Of course.
Now, William.
Yes, sir.
I've just invited you and asked you to bring some of the past papers which you have just brought in now, and we randomly picked out some. What is your take on all this discussion? What do you feel of why I've invited you and have this discussion with you?
All this is borderlining the aspect of knowing where you are as an individual, and in whatever step you take, you need to understand the macroeconomic impact. Take, for instance, there are so many things that are really fancied up out there. You can develop this. let me give you an example of the research and development and the technology into eco-friendly housing. I think you have had the several innovations into you can make a house out of plastic bottles. But then the question is, yes, that's a very good innovation and it protects the environment. But how many Ugandans can afford a house made out of plasticware?
There was some bricks that where you were burning them and they were interlocking. Sorry, I couldn't mention the company's name for purposes. Yeah, but they were you were making the mud, and then you compress it with the bricks,
and the brick turns out very ready for
and they were interlocking. No need for cement. At least I can use someone's perimeter wall that had it. VP, Vice President Specials Awandera Kasukwe, I used Gayaza Rod. She used those interlocking bricks that were not burnt, no use for firewood and the rest. I think they were called Makinga bricks. But how many have gone ahead to stop the other traditional system of making bricks, burning them with the firewood, and adopt that technology, the Makinga bricks? Have you noticed that over time, after 10 years, when rains drips onto them, they start wearing out? So, William, the purpose of our discussion is to awaken, especially the youth. Many people have followed me and have been wondering, where does this man get all this information from? Why does he share these ideas and where does he derive it from? Little did they know that I'm a blended product. I did combine my professional and academic work, which I practiced very well as an economics teacher, as an examiner, and with a very good educational system, the University of Cambridge. And that is what you are practicing. And this blended approach has enabled me to have a proper, real, assessment. That's why it is not very easy to come to me and tell me that now we should go into digital currencies. Because I know the underlying implications of the digital currencies. Because I know the US debt. And I know how the US is clamoring to clear their debt using unwritten theories in the textbook. You can't easily convince me to get my savings and buy government bonds. And I sit back and wait when I'm still an energetic man and a hardworking man. Because I equally know the repercussions of when the government excessively borrow from the public. Because repayment with the interest will be a problem. So now these are some of the things that we share with people. But people who are pushing a certain agenda tend usually to rubbish us. That, no, what is that, man? When I caution people about coffee, I've mentioned about coffee, how many acres of coffee I did clear. It wasn't because of the world price fluctuation. No, it was that this crop was unsustainable for me. Because every time I was getting it, the thieves were crumbling me on the head. So sometimes we share some of these things. Now, you find many young people inviting you. They have developed this idea that you can make money, create wealth by working smart without dirtying your feet. And by that they mean that you can create wealth by thinking, not by acting. Hands-on. I think between us people here, I hope it will help some young people.
Maybe another question you need to pose to maybe such school of thought is how many people in Uganda can think like you? Because if you're advocating for working smart, how many Ugandans are educated to a level of working smart? Because the greatest percentage of our population can still best work hands-on. The smart let me just give an example. How many Ugandans aged below 30 can properly understand bonds? And
understanding it is another thing. But I keep asking, where would you have gotten that money? The 10 million, the 20 million, the 100 million.
The initial investment.
Yes, that you are willing to let stay there, and you are willing to lend it to government. And you do not want you to work for your money. You want your money to work for you. You want your money to work for you. So you are lending it to the government. So
you fold your hands back.
Or you can put your money into William. At least I'm familiar with how you have you are raising chicken for eggs and how you are reaping it, although it has its own
ups and
downs. So these are things that we have to bring out to the youth. Whenever I talk in my overcoats, people think he's as if he's dreaming the things. I have brought the academic, because there are some guys who told me he studied economics. What kind of an economist is he? I want any one of them to come. I'll give the marking guide. We have several examiners here.
Yes.
I want any one of them to tackle any of these questions here. The US debt versus as a percentage of the GDP, whether they can tackle it, they can be good into selling those products. But not that we are saying you should not invest into them. There are some people who have practical impossibilities that they cannot invest into those areas. Well and good. They can't invest there. But those that can have this blended product, they should go ahead. So thank you very much, William.
Thank you.
Have a nice day, man.
You're welcome.
Thank you.